I'd like to go back to this book by Peter Drucker. I think most of us know him. He's one of the greatest management guru. He actually started the idea of management by objectives. I'm sure some companies are doing this as well. So I'm just quoting this book because Hoshin planning is somewhat similar to MBO. So if you're doing MBO, this is not going to be different for you. But maybe there could be some ideas you can actually tweak to make MBO more Filipino. Okay. If you like to know more about Hoshin Kanri, which is the precursor of planning, you can now go and look at this book by Akau. It's a bit recent, 1991, compared to the one by Drucker. And it talks about the idea of Hoshin as a way by which we try to manage our goals, okay, which Dr. Mutok will talk more about later. So in case you're wondering, what does Hoshin mean? Hoshin is actually I would say, a derivation of a Chinese language called direction, meaning know where you're going, and how you manage the direction. So when you combine the two, how do you manage your direction? How do you manage your way? Essentially, when you talk about managing your companies or leading your companies, that's what we do, right? We try to find a way by which we can drive the changes we wanted. When you talk about Hoshin planning, which is now the, I would say, the loose translation of Hoshin Kanri, Hoshin planning is really a systematic way by which we wanted to achieve breakthrough performance. I remember Dr. Mishra talked about breakthrough innovation yesterday. Very interesting guy. And I think the challenge now is how do we now bring people to that same level of thinking? How do we now make people understand that breakthrough is not the job of the CEO? Breakthrough is the job of everybody. But the problem is, how do you get people on board on that idea? It's not so much as we don't want it. Most people probably don't know how to do it. Or what is my role? What is my part in this context of breakthrough? I'm borrowing this matrix by Ansov. He's a Russian guy, and this is being used by strat planning activities most often. That when you try to find your breakthrough, you can actually use this concept where you want to know where exactly would you want to be? Where would you want to go? Would you want to develop your market? Would you want to diversify? Would you want to penetrate somebody else's market? Would you want to develop new products? These are breakthrough thinking. And I'm sure regardless of whether you're in the service or manufacturing or whatever that is that you're doing, these concepts can work well.